There's a system inside you that drives almost every decision you make. Every craving, every habit, every pattern you follow, good or bad. You don't see it. You don't hear it. But it's running your life. And it's called your reward system. This isn't just some scientific concept buried in textbooks. This is how your brain decides what feels good and what's worth repeating. Every time you scroll, eat, binge, snooze, chase, gamble, swipe, or even check your phone, your reward system is quietly casting a vote. A vote for what your brain thinks is important. A vote for what gets repeated. A vote for what becomes your default behavior. And the scary part? It doesn't care if that behavior is helpful or harmful. All it wants is the feeling of reward. That's how powerful it is. So, what exactly is this system? Let's break it down in simple terms. Your brain's reward system is made up of a network of structures, mostly deep in the center of the brain, that help you decide what's worth your effort and attention. It includes the ventral tegmental area, VTA, which releases dopamine. The nucleus accumbens, your brain's pleasure center. The prefrontal cortex, which helps weigh consequences. And the amygdala, which attaches emotion to behavior. When something pleasurable happens, like eating delicious food or receiving praise, your brain floods with dopamine, a chemical messenger that says, "This is good. Do it again." That's the loop. Trigger, action, reward, reinforcement. And every time the loop repeats, your brain becomes more efficient at triggering that behavior again. Why does this matter? Because if you understand how this loop works, you can start rewiring it. You can stop rewarding behaviors that sabotage your future and start reinforcing habits that build the life you actually want. But it starts with awareness. Most people never pause long enough to realize their life is a series of reward loops, automatically firing day after day. Wake up and grab the phone? Dopamine. Skip the gym and eat junk? Dopamine. Gossip, scroll, binge, avoid the hard task? Dopamine. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is simply following the path of least resistance and most reward. And unless you interrupt the pattern, your brain will keep chasing short-term pleasure at the cost of long-term peace. So what can we do? We learn to hack it. We use the reward system against itself. We feed it new signals, new loops, new rewards tied not to comfort, but to growth. That's what this entire video is about. Not forcing yourself to change through guilt or shame, but understanding how your biology works and using it to become who you really want to be. Because your habits are not just decisions, they're neural instructions, and every single one can be rewritten. Let's recap part 1 in simple, powerful truths. You have a built-in reward system that drives behavior. It's powered by dopamine, your brain's do-it-again chemical. It reinforces habits, good or bad, based on the feeling of reward. The brain doesn't care if the habit is helpful or harmful, only if it feels good. But you can change the system by becoming aware of it and rewiring what your brain sees as rewarding. And once you understand the machine, you can rebuild it. Your future isn't built by motivation. It's built by the loops you reprogram. And this is the first day of that rewiring. The science of habit formation. Habits don't start out as destiny. They start out as decisions, tiny, repeatable choices that slowly become unconscious commands. You don't rise or fall by what you do once. You rise or fall by what you do every day without thinking. And that's the key. Your habits live in the part of your brain that doesn't ask for permission. It just repeats what feels familiar. Let's talk about the habit loop. Back in the 1990s, scientists studying habit formation at MIT discovered what they called the habit loop. It's made up of 3 core parts. 1. Cue, the trigger. 2. Routine, the behavior. 3. Reward, the payoff. Example? Cue, you feel stressed. Routine, you reach for sugar. Reward, Your brain lights up with dopamine, and for a moment, the stress fades. And just like that, a neural shortcut is formed. Your brain says, "That worked. Let's remember that." The next time stress hits, it doesn't ask you what to do. It just activates the loop. Now here's the wild part. The reward isn't always pleasure. Sometimes the reward is just relief. Sometimes it's distraction. Sometimes it's control. And your brain? It just says, "Oh, that helped. Let's make that automatic." That's why breaking bad habits is so hard. Because they're not always about indulgence. They're about survival. False relief from real pain. And that's why changing habits requires more than willpower. Willpower fades. Emotion shifts. But structure sticks. You don't need to fight your bad habits head on. You need to reroute the loop. You need to 1. Recognize the cue. 2. Replace the routine. 3. Reframe the reward. You don't destroy habits. You redirect them. Here's an example. Cue. You're bored. Old routine. Mindless scrolling. Old reward. Dopamine hit from novelty. Now you change it. Same cue. Boredom. New routine. 10 push-ups. 5 minutes of journaling. New reward. Momentum. Progress. Clarity. You're not depriving yourself. You're giving your brain a better payoff. Let's go even deeper. Habits form through a process called chunking. Your brain learns to package behavior into efficient bundles, so it doesn't have to think so hard. That's why the first time you do something, it feels clunky. But after enough repetition, it becomes smooth, automatic, invisible. This is your brain saying, "I got it from here." You can stop thinking now, which means if you build bad habits, your brain automates your own destruction. If you build good habits, your brain automates your greatness. That's the science. And now, you have a choice. Let's simplify this science into action. Every habit is formed by a loop. Cue, routine, reward. Your brain doesn't ask if it's good, only if it's repeatable. You don't need to fight old habits. You need to reroute the loop. Repetition is key. It builds efficiency and automation. If you repeat chaos, you become chaos. If you repeat discipline, you become unstoppable. The person you want to become is hidden inside the habits you repeat when no one's watching. And your brain? It's ready to automate whatever you give it. So, give it something worth repeating. Before you can change anything, you have to see it clearly. Not judge it. Not shame it. Just observe it. Because awareness is the doorway to power. And if you don't know your habits, you'll never escape them. They'll keep running the show. And you'll keep wondering why your life doesn't change. Here's the truth most people avoid. Your life today is the reflection of your deepest habits. Not your goals. Not your dreams. Not even your intentions. Your habits. The small decisions you make every day. When you're tired, when no one's watching, when you think it doesn't matter. It all matters. So today, we put a mirror in front of them. Step 1. Track your day like a scientist. Don't try to change anything yet. Just track it. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What do you do when your alarm rings? What's the first thing you eat? How long do you scroll? When do you procrastinate? What triggers your worst behaviors? When do you feel the most alive? Write it down. Every action, every trigger, every response. No judgment, just data. Because your brain doesn't change what it can't measure. Step 2. Identify your habit cues. Every habit starts with a trigger, a time of day, a place, a feeling, a person, a pattern. You don't just scroll because it's fun. You scroll because you feel bored, or anxious, or avoiding something. You don't just skip the workout. You skip it because your body has paired exercise with discomfort, not reward. Your habits aren't random. They're responses to repeated signals. So when you find the cue, you gain control. Step 3. Get brutally honest about the reward. Every habit exists because it gives you something, even your worst ones. Overeating might give you comfort. Procrastinating might give you relief from pressure. Anger might give you a hit of control or power. You can't replace a habit until you understand what it gives you. Because your brain isn't addicted to the behavior, it's addicted to the payoff. That's why bad habits are so sticky. They solve a problem even if they create 10 more in the process. So ask, what is this habit doing for me? Then ask, what could I do that gives me the same feeling without destroying my progress? That's how rewiring begins. Here's a simple framework. For each recurring habit, answer 1. What's the cue? 2. What's the behavior? 3. What's the reward? 4. What's a better behavior that could give me the same reward? This is how you move from reaction to reprogramming. From, I don't know why I keep doing this, to, I see the pattern, now I can break it. A note on compassion. Don't hate yourself for your habits. Most of them were built in survival mode. They got you through something. They served a purpose when you didn't know better. But now you do. And what served you then? Maybe suffocating you now. It's okay to outgrow the old self. In fact, it's necessary. Let's simplify part 3 into truth you can use. Habits are built from repeated triggers and rewards. You must track them before you can change them. Every habit starts with a cue and ends with a feeling. You don't need to erase the habit. Just replace the routine. Be honest about what your habits give you and find healthier substitutes. Awareness is power. Observation is the first step to transformation. This isn't about fixing yourself. You were never broken. It's about understanding the system. And once you do, you don't fear your habits anymore. You lead them. Here's the truth. You can't just stop bad habits. You can't erase a loop your brain has reinforced 1,000 times. But what you can do is rewrite the reward. You can feed your mind a new signal, so it craves something higher than comfort. So it starts chasing growth like it used to chase escape. That's the art of hacking your reward system. Let's get tactical. Strategy 1. Pair progress with immediate reward. Your brain is wired to love now. That's why long-term goals feel abstract. That's why change feels slow. That's why procrastination wins. So what do? We link progress with instant payoff. Example: after 30 minutes of focused work, reward yourself with 5 minutes of music, sunlight, or deep breathing. After hitting the gym, allow yourself a cold shower or your favorite smoothie. After writing a page, check off the box with satisfaction. Say out loud, "I'm proud of me." It sounds small, but to the brain, it's a powerful signal. Discipline equals dopamine. That's how you start building good addictions. Strategy 2. Make the habit the reward. This is the elite level play. Instead of needing an external reward, you reframe the action itself as the prize. You no longer say, "I have to meditate." You say, "I get to feel peace for 10 minutes." You no longer say, "I have to journal." You say, "I get to dump the chaos and breathe clearly." Because when the process becomes the reward, you don't have to force yourself. You crave it. Strategy 3. Use temptation bundling. This one's backed by behavioral science. You take something you enjoy and only allow yourself to do it while doing the habit you want to build. Only listen to podcasts during workouts. Only sip your favorite tea when reading. Only watch your favorite show while meal prepping. This ties pleasure to progress. It teaches your brain that doing the hard thing access to the good thing. Eventually, the line blurs and the habit becomes the source of the pleasure. Strategy 4. Visualize the identity reward, not just the outcome. Most people focus on goals, But goals are results. The real shift happens when you focus on identity. After every habit, reinforce this message. This is who I am now. After a workout, I am someone who moves daily. After reading, I am someone who feeds my mind. After journaling, I am someone who reflects and grows. This isn't fake. This is reinforcement. Because your brain wants to stay consistent with the story you tell it. And every time you link a habit to identity, you make it easier to repeat. Strategy 5. Delay the reward to increase its power. This one flips the script. Instead of chasing instant pleasure, you build the muscle of delayed gratification. Example: delay checking your phone until after your first task. Delay entertainment until after the gym. Delay rest until you've completed your key priorities. At first, it's hard, but over time, your brain adapts to the new hierarchy. It starts to say, work feels better when it's earned. Rest feels better when it follows progress. That's discipline, not denial. Delayed satisfaction. The highest achievers train their dopamine to come from effort, not escape. Let's simplify part 4 into pure fire. Link every habit to a short-term reward. Make the action feel like the prize. Bundle temptations with hard habits. Reinforce identity, not just outcomes. Train yourself to earn your pleasure, not chase it. This isn't just hacking your brain. It's teaching it to crave the life you were born to live. Your reward system isn't your enemy. It's your engine. It's been hijacked by noise, sugar, screens, and shortcuts. But today, you take it back. You train your brain to light up for progress, to crave structure, to reward the grind, to fall in love with becoming. And once it does, there's no going back. You don't want quick fixes. You don't want another 7-day miracle routine. You don't want hype that burns out by next week. You want change that sticks. Habits that hold under pressure. A lifestyle so dialed in that even your bad days still build you. That's sustainability. And here's the truth. It doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency over time. Step 1. Start small enough to win daily. Most people fail because they aim for perfect, not permanent. They try to run 10 miles before they've walked one. They meditate for 30 minutes on day 1, then never again. They starve themselves into discipline and crash by Thursday. But sustainable habits? They start ridiculously small. 1 push-up, 5 minutes of writing, 1 minute of breath work, drinking 1 extra glass of water. It doesn't matter how much. It matters that you show up. Because every time you keep a promise, you reinforce the identity. I'm someone who does what I said I'd do. That belief, it compounds into momentum. Step 2. Stack habits on existing routines. Your brain loves familiarity. So instead of fighting for space in your day, attach new habits to old ones. After brushing teeth, 5 gratitude breaths. After morning coffee, open your journal. After lunch, walk for 5 minutes. After finishing work, review tomorrow's goals. This is called habit stacking. And it works because it piggybacks off what your brain already expects. Eventually, the new habit feels like part of the old one. That's how you sneak transformation into your routine. Silently, powerfully, permanently. Step 3. Make the habit obvious, easy, and satisfying. Behavioral scientist James Clear broke it down like this. 1. Make it obvious. Leave your running shoes by the door. Keep your book on your pillow. Put your journal on your desk. 2. Make it easy. Don't do an hour. Do 5 minutes. Let it feel too small to skip. 3. Make it satisfying. Celebrate the win. Mark a calendar. Feel the pride. Say it aloud. That's who I am now. Because the more friction you remove, the more likely you are to repeat the action. And the brain lives for repetition. Step 4. Track it visibly. What gets tracked gets repeated. Create a habit tracker. Use an app. Mark an X on a calendar. Make a visual scoreboard on your wall. Why? Because when you see your progress, you feel motivated to protect the streak. And when you miss a day, never miss 2. 1 missed day is a slip. 2 is a new habit forming in reverse. So track like your future depends on it, because it does. Step 5. Build for the hard days, not the perfect ones. Anyone can keep habits when life is smooth. But real sustainability comes from building emergency versions of your habits. Too tired to work out? Do 1 set of push-ups. No time to journal? Write 1 sentence. Mentally fried? Read for 1 minute instead of 20. You don't break the chain. You adjust the intensity. This way, your habit never dies. It flexes with your life. That's not weakness. That's resilience. Step 6. Automate what drains willpower. Willpower is a limited resource. So make the right choices easier. Lay out clothes the night before. Schedule workouts like appointments. Pre-prepare meals. Block apps that pull your focus. Don't try to fight yourself every morning. Remove the need to decide. Sustainable habits are built on systems, not effort. Let's lock in the truth from start small enough to win daily. Stack new habits onto existing routines. Make habits obvious, easy, and satisfying. Track progress visually and never miss 2 days. Build low-effort versions for tough days. Automate everything you can. Don't depend on willpower. Because consistency isn't built in the hype. It's built in the structure. You don't have to change your life in a day. You just have to never stop showing up, day after day, brick by brick, until the habit becomes who you are. That's sustainability. And that's how you become unstoppable. Let's make something clear. You will fall. You will slip. You will break your streak. You will mess up a routine you thought you mastered. And when that happens, good. Because that moment isn't your defeat. It's your training ground. It's where most people run, but it's where you rebuild. Failure isn't the opposite of progress. It's part of it. You don't level up in the perfect days. You level up in the days you refuse to quit. Relapse isn't a sign you're weak. It's a sign your system needs adjusting. So don't let the voice of shame get loud. Say this instead. This isn't over. This is the recalibration. Because what matters now is not if you fall, but how fast you stand. Step 1. Recognize the fall without shame. You skipped a workout? Ate like trash? Missed a full week of journaling? Okay. That doesn't erase the work you've done. That doesn't destroy your identity. You are not your mistake. You are your response to the mistake. Take ownership, not guilt. Say it. Yes, I slipped. Now I'm back. Because the most dangerous part of relapse isn't the act itself. It's the spiral of self-hate that convinces you to stay down. Step 2. Identify the trigger. Relapse is rarely random. Was it stress, fatigue, travel, disruption in your routine? Find the pattern that made the habit fall apart. That's where you regain power. Because when you see the trigger, you can prepare for it next time. You can build safeguards. You can pivot. You can create your Plan B version of the habit. Slips happen, but repeated slips are signals. Listen to them. Step 3. Break the all or nothing trap. Here's where perfectionism kills momentum. You miss one day and your brain whispers, might as well give up for the week. You already broke it, why bother now? This is the toxic lie of all or nothing. But the truth? All or nothing. Nothing. Sustainable success is built on do something. One workout missed doesn't erase your health journey. One donut doesn't undo your discipline. One bad day isn't a sign of weakness, it's a setup for your comeback. Drop the perfection. Return to progress. Step 4. Re-anchor in your why. The most powerful way to bounce back? Reconnect with your reason. Not the surface level get fit or be productive reason. The real one. Who are you doing this for? What does your future self need from you? What kind of legacy are you trying to leave? Your why is the anchor in the storm. If you've drifted, it's because you forgot it. So say it again, write it again, feel it again. That's your fuel. Step 5. Create a reset ritual. You need a system to reboot your rhythm. Every time you slip, have a 24-hour reset ritual. Drink water, move your body, review your goals, plan tomorrow, forgive yourself. Restart the smallest version of your habit. No shame, no delay, just a simple, reliable bounce-back protocol. Because pros don't restart with guilt, they restart with structure. Let's break down the main ideas. Relapse isn't failure, it's a moment of realignment. You are not your mistakes, you are your response. Every setback is a signal. Find the trigger. All or nothing kills more progress than failure ever will. Your why is the fastest way to restore your fire. Build a 24-hour reset ritual to bounce back like a machine. You've come too far to go back. You've done too much to collapse now. So, if you've slipped, good. This is the day you prove to yourself that you're not just chasing change. You're living it. Fall 7 times. Rise 8. That's who you are now. This is no longer about science. This is no longer about systems. This is about people. People who were stuck. People who were lost. People who, just like you, once thought, I'll never change. And then one day, they did. They hacked their habits. They rewired their reward systems. They took back control, and they never looked back. These aren't superheroes. They're humans who refuse to keep living on autopilot. Meet Jordan from distraction to discipline. Jordan used to wake up late, scroll for an hour, skip workouts, and chase motivation like it was gold dust. But the turning point? One night, exhausted from another day wasted, he asked himself, what if I just rewired my brain to like discipline? He stopped chasing 10 days. He focused on doing 1% better each morning. He used a habit tracker, bundled his workouts with his favorite music, started saying, I'm proud of myself, out loud after every win. Now, he's 85 pounds lighter, built his dream freelance business. And his brain? It craves structure like it once craved escape. Meet Alice from burnout to intentional living. Alicia used to wear busy like a badge. Overcommitted, exhausted, constantly chasing productivity. But underneath, she was addicted to achievement, not peace. She read about dopamine detoxing, reward cycles, and mindfulness. So she made a shift. She unplugged her mornings. She started breath work instead of Instagram. She replaced do more with do what matters. Now, her calendar is lighter. Her life is richer. And the reward her brain chases now? Presence. Meet Charles from self-doubt to identity transformation. Didn't believe in himself. Every time he tried to start a new habit, he quit. Every time he messed up, he spiraled. Then he heard this: you're not failing habits, you're failing identity. So he flipped it. He stopped focusing on goals. He started acting like the version of himself who had already changed. He didn't ask, can I do this? He asked, what would the disciplined version of me do right now? He acted that way for 30 days. On day 31, he didn't recognize his old self anymore. Now, he leads a coaching group. He teaches others how to change. And it started with one phrase: this is who I am now. So what do these stories prove? Change is possible no matter how many times you've fallen. Your reward system can be rewired one decision at a time. You don't need to wait for a breakthrough. You become one. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be persistent. The person you want to be is not waiting at the finish line. They're waiting at day 1. And maybe, just maybe, someone's going to tell your story next. They're going to say, there was this person who stopped waiting, who got back up, who rebuilt their life one habit at a time. And now, they don't just inspire people, they lead them. Let that person be you. Let the story begin today. Not hype, not fluff, not magic. Science, strategy, story, truth. You now understand how the most powerful system in your brain, the reward system, is shaping your life. Every habit, every pattern, every repeated behavior that either builds you or breaks you. But now, you don't follow the system blindly. You lead it. You know how it works. Dopamine reinforces whatever you repeat. Habits are loops. Cue, routine, reward. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. You can retrain your brain to crave growth instead of escape. The person you want to be, they're one habit away. So what now? You act. Because all of this knowledge means nothing unless you move. This is your moment. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for Monday. You don't wait for anyone to save you. You decide. Right now, I will take back control of my mind. I will use my biology to build my destiny. I will teach my brain to crave the actions that build the life I want. I am not stuck. I am rewiring. And it starts today. Here's your simple challenge. 1. Choose one habit. 2. Make it so small you can't fail. 3. Track it daily for 7 days. 4. After each success, say, "This is who I am now." 5. Watch your identity evolve, one loop at a time. No big leap. No magic plan. Just small, consistent victories backed by biology and belief. Because the truth is, you don't become your goals. You become your habits. You don't become what you wish for. You become what you repeat. And now you have the tools to repeat the right things with power, with clarity, with unstoppable intent. Close with fire, leave them lit up and ready. This isn't the end of a video. This is the start of your story. The one where you stop reacting. The one where you stop quitting. The one where you stop handing your life to distractions, cravings, and invisible wiring. You're not here to watch others win. You're here to reprogram your brain and lead your life. So go now. Move. Build. Repeat. This is who you are now.